Gunrun spoke, and it's definitely not pretty. Alright, straight to the point. Gunrun, yes, the man who gunned everything and ran, finally released the information of what caused the downfall of VShojo, and it is not pretty at all, because there's a few things that we need to go over here. But for those of you who have ADHD, I'm going to try to put it short for you. This wasn't necessarily the whole agency's fault. This was basically Gunrun's fault for his horrible management and the choices he made on how he decided to run the agency. So basically, it's not entirely the agency's fault. It's basically on Gunrun. VShojo has failed, and I've mismanaged the company into the situation you're all witnessing. So today I am sharing the difficult news that VShojo is shutting down. And I take full responsibility for the decisions that led up to this point. I've been doing everything I can to fundraise and right the ship these past few months, but despite my efforts, we are in the worst position, and those I care about are now paying the price. Are you sure you care about them? Over the past few years, we raised $11 million to pursue a bold, talent-first approach in VTubing, prioritizing creators and community over short-term profits. To achieve long-term sustainability, our funding went directly to our creators through generous splits, debut investments, infrastructure, concerts, events, and staffing, all designed to support them. We also wanted talent to own their IP, which we knew was a unique creator-first approach for an agency. However, despite all our efforts, the business failed to generate the revenue we needed to sustain that model, and eventually, we ran out of money. Additionally, I acknowledge that some money spent by the company was raised in connection with talent activity, cough cough Iron Mouse, which I later learned was intended for the charitable initiative. At the time, we were working hard to raise additional investment capital to cover our costs, and I firmly believed, based on the information available to us, that we would be able to do so and cover all expenses. We were unsuccessful in fundraising in our fundraising efforts. I made the decision to pursue funding, and I own its consequences. I am deeply sorry to all the talents, staff, friends, and community members who believed in our brand. You did not deserve this, Justin Gunrun. This is the most bullshit notice I've ever seen. And let me explain to you the bullshit. It was this particular segment right here where he says, I acknowledge that some of the money was spent by the company and it was raised in connection with talent activity. However, he then claims that he later learned that the money was raised by Iron Mouse and, you know, that he didn't know that it was supposed to be for charity. And then he says he later learned that it was intended to be donated to charity. He later learned. He later learned. Okay, that's what he says. All right. Alright, so this right here is the post of Iron Mouse celebrating how she broke the sub record and raised all the money she earned for charity. And then, look who responds to it on the same day. Gunrun, how can you be this fucking stupid? It was no wonder why he took a while to state what he did wrong, because when you think about it, he had everything written in this notice right here, but he was unaware that there was evidence of him actually knowing about the fact that it was not his money. This basically puts him at literal theft. I'm talking about robbery. He is somehow making Nishi Sanji look sane. And you guys can already tell and assume that there were multiple, and I mean almost every single popular VTuber out there who were beyond not happy with this. And the biggest one was Zentreya. This situation was living rent-free in her head.
You lied to us.
No, I mean it seriously. She was beyond pissed. To shorten down what she said as much as possible, she demanded straight answers from Gunrun himself and started exposing him. She went back to how she stated she was under all of the pressure for the VShojo auditions and Gunrun just left her in the dirt for it. And what I mean by auditions, I mean these auditions. Everyone was under the idea that the auditions were only for super popular and successful VTubers, or only for people who were super personal friends with Zentreya, when realistically it was actually the opposite. Zen wanted to find people who were frankly new, and what I mean by this is she was looking for people who were at least below 20 to 10,000 subs on YouTube, and only thousands of follows on Twitch. She wanted to bring in people who she saw potential in and help them rise up. She was the only one who spoke out after the auditions, saying that it was meant for smaller creators, while VShojo did fuck all and didn't care. She then also found out that Gunrun wasn't hiring talents to help them. He was only hiring talent so he could possibly rob even more money or just impress people. When Amal Lee joined VShojo, she begged Gunrun to put a statement regarding the auditions before Amal announced her debut, but Gunrun, as Zentreya stated, gave her the middle finger, which forced Zen and Amal to make the statement for Gunrun because his team was quote-unquote shit at their job. But by the end of all this, Zen blamed this on herself for being blind, and she even called herself a dog for VShojo. But truthfully, as we all know it, no one even blames her at all, because the one and only true culprit here is Gunrun. If anything, Zen legit pulled a Chad move and exposed him. But hold your horses, folks, that's not all. VTuber Vei also exposes a lot about VShojo. And she exposes a lot of bad stuff. Her post is literally a whole chapter of bad stuff, but once again, I'm gonna shrink it down the best I can. Vei went on about exposing how VShojo was very sensitive and predatory around their contracts, to the point where the COO himself was super hostile about it and also refused to answer any of her questions. And even after that, VShojo just went ahead and started to treat her like hot garbage, and they also wanted her to apparently give them all of her revenue that she made off of her sponsors and merch. So realistically, VShojo just wanted to leech off of her. She then decided to leave VShojo after learning how devious they were. However, of course, VShojo decides to grab her by the shoulder and have her sit down and decide to force her to sign an NDA that restrains her from leaking any information of everything that happened within the agency. What's even worse is that they stalked her on Twitch and Discord, and they would threaten to sue her if she did anything majorly bad. VShojo staff then went to 4chan and began to accuse Vei and Silvervale that they were troublemakers and that they were bad for the agency, which caused hate to arise for them. Vei also began to expose VShojo, stating that their lawyer has an expired law license, so that kind of means that he's not even a legit lawyer anymore. And a horrible thing that she exposed was the fact that Gunrun was jealous of Hololive to the point where he actually spent company money to hire people to go spy on Hololive. And then by the time he took Kason and Nazuna, who were once known as Hololive members, he thought he struck gold, when realistically Hololive is like 10 times bigger than VShojo. They also revealed that Maltendu, who is the guy that is the COO or the MTD of VShojo, she revealed that this guy stalks the talents and he's also a creep. He pretended to be shocked at the whole situation when everyone knew that this guy was just as guilty as Gunrun. Man already has witnesses and evidence against him that he's just pretending like it all never happened. Bro, you were straight up involved with all of this bullshit. And of course, as you can imagine, no one spared mercy for this guy. Everyone went fucking ham on him. Oh, and we're not done with him yet. Vei also revealed the fact that this guy started trash talking the talents that left VShojo. Bro took the rejection too seriously. But luckily after that, Vei went on to live her nice life as an indie streamer, and she is doing well right now. But wait!
There's more. No.
VShojo also targeted Silvervale after she left, and guess what, ladies and gentlemen, after she left VShojo, she had to tell her audience she needed a break. What was VShojo's response? They decided to stalk her on Discord and Twitch, and they threatened her lawyer that she should keep her mouth shut.
Like even before it was announced that I was leaving, I had just mentioned in my Discord, just like casually, that I was stressed and I needed to cancel the stream, and they contacted my lawyer because of that and threatened to sue me if I hinted that I was leaving or unhappy at all. just because I said I was stressed. So imagine me saying anything else.
And if you think that is bad enough, you haven't even heard the worst part. Gunrun, in a personal call, called Silvervale a disappointment, a damage to the company, and the most bullshit part ever, he blamed her for being harassed by the MTD.
I was put into a call with Gun, the CEO of the company, like someone that I admired and I looked up to and I wanted to please, someone that I thought was the coolest person ever. And he told me that I was a damage to the brand, that I was a disappointment. I was told that me being harassed was an inconvenience to the other talents and not to talk to them. Optics were more important than their own talents' well-being. And I was suspended from streaming. They said it wasn't a suspension because they weren't that kind of agency. But what else do you call being told not to stream? Talent freedom, right? And this broke me. Like, it shattered my perception of everything, and it shattered my trust, and it just fucking broke me.
Gunrun, I have no personal beef with you, but you are a piece of shit! Honestly, fucking unbelievable. After Silvervale and Vei left, VShojo literally went to 4chan to just talk shit about them. And then someone by the name of Addison on Twitter got access to VShojo's pick deck, and she discovered some big underwater stuff. The major things she revealed is that VShojo lost $2.5 million in 2024. How did you even manage that? And something that stood out heavily was they initially had the real life photos of every VShojo talent, which has been redacted. Holy shit, were they ready to dox them? This agency is unforgivable. Beyond. We have been fooled so well for 5 years thinking they were the holy trinity of agencies. But every VTuber, especially the ones who left this agency earlier, had a gun pointed behind their heads. I feel sorry to these VTubers, and all I can say now is I am glad this company has fell to smithereens. Because this man is a fucking liar. He is a devil wearing a mask of an angel. And on the bright side, these VTubers will no longer have these guns behind their heads. Not anymore. I hope they don't have a gun behind their head anymore. And I do wish that all of you and the VTubers out there have a lovely future. Please be safe, and as soon as you smell bullshit, turn around. Thank you all for watching this video, and I'll be seeing you the next time. Bye bye. Oh my god, this was such a shit show.